Hello, hello, hello. We are back for our second installment of Entrepreneur Essentials Week. And I am so excited to be with my friend Trish Lee, who is going to bestow some very valuable knowledge to you today in regards to what not to do in sales. But I'm going to let Trish first introduce herself, tell you a little bit about who she is and what good things she's got going on and how she's really adding value during this time where we're sheltering in place still a little bit, COVID-19, and how to help all of you that are entrepreneurs in your quest to make the most out of this time. So Trish, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Jen. I appreciate you having me on today. This is awesome. I'm so excited to finally be a participant instead of just watching you go live every week. So I own a company called Time Salvation. And this year, we actually were launching a new product called Sales Salvation, which is specifically for business owners and entrepreneurs to learn about sales and just to be able to feel more comfortable in that role. So often people get into their own business and they don't realize how much they don't know until they start doing it. And I just wanted to make sure that every small business owner and entrepreneur that I know is comfortable doing sales.
Yeah. And so I've just dropped her website link in the ticker there where you can see it's Sales Salvation. And it's a very valuable opportunity for those of you that are entrepreneurs to be able to, you've got to be able to, you can create a beautiful thing. You've got a beautiful product, you got beautiful services. But if you don't know how to actually sell that, it's just that. It's a beautiful thing that's going to sit there on the shelf or the virtual shelf, if you will.
Right.
So we're going to cover a few things today, and they are the top 3 tips of what not to do.
Yeah,
exactly. What not to do. So I want to know who's joining us live. Get in here, get in live, because I think Trish has got a great offer for those of you that join live today. So you've got to get in and make some comments so that we know that you're here. So I am going to make a little note, comment to tell us you're live.
Yes, definitely put in something in the comments like Sales Salvation is awesome, or I love selling, or something that tells us that you were here during the live broadcast. Because if you can do that, then we have a free sales training opportunity for you. I can PM you about as soon as I know all of the people that were here live.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll have a couple of folks join us here in a little bit, but let's go ahead and go into our topic for today. Whether you're live or you're catching this on replay, I know these tips are essential for you to be successful and to avoid what you need to avoid. So why don't you dive right on in?
Yeah, absolutely. So often people are trying to train you and tell you what to do, but I want to give you some ideas of what not to do when you're selling. The first thing that we have is don't tell. What happens if you tell the prospect how great your product or service is, or how you're better than your competitors? If you tell them, then you have totally missed the opportunity to find out what they really need, what their pain points are, or whether you're even a good fit for them. You could also create an offensive situation when telling them what they need, because I know by experience with my teenage daughter that she hates to be told what to do. I get a much better response from her when I ask her what she thinks before we go into what needs to be done. So if you are going to share information with them, you want to ask permission first. Do you mind if I share with you some thoughts on what you're doing? Do you mind if we can discuss it? Can you elaborate? You want to draw them out. So instead of like the military, don't ask, don't tell, we want to ask, don't tell. So that's the first tip. Don't tell.
Yes. Excellent. I know whenever I've gone through multiple sales training sessions myself, it's that consultative approach that we definitely need to take in sales, which means that we're we're understanding, and then we're asking good questions. So excellent.
Absolutely.
So
I
what's
mean,
tip number 2? Oh, or go ahead.
that's okay. I was just going to say, you're just think about the used car salesman who comes out and tells you all about the features and benefits on the car and doesn't even ask what's important to you. Maybe he's covering gas efficiency, but what you're really interested in, how fast does it go from 0 to 60?
Woo-hoo.
Exactly. So if you don't know, then you can't help them. So that's just make sure you don't tell, ask.
Yeah, excellent.
So the second one is don't accept anything at face value. There's an old saying in sales that customers lie. That seems really negative, but it is partially the truth. I don't believe that clients intentionally lie to salespeople, but they often hold back that truth, not to be deceptive, but because they don't really know what information they have is valuable to the salesperson. So you need to dig deeper. When they say they are happy with their current provider or what they're doing right now, thank them. Thank them for sharing. Say, thank you. I appreciate you sharing that information. Do you mind if I ask you some follow-up questions? Would you mind elaborating on that? Dig deeper. Find out what it is that they found so valuable about their current provider. They may not even know, but when you activate their brain and make sure that they're looking at, well, maybe they're just comfortable. Maybe they, just aren't ready to make a switch. And it's not that they're really comfortable with what they're doing. It's just they don't know any better. So dig deeper, ask those questions. Don't take anything at face value.
Yeah.
Ask leading questions. Like if you're selling something that helps with productivity, you want to ask questions like, how do you manage your time? Yeah. What products do you like to use? What do you set aside time every day to go over your daily schedule? Those are all leading questions that can help you to dig deeper and get that information.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to those open-ended, closed-ended questions.
Yes.
That as salespeople, we really need, and I say salespeople because let's say this, you're selling whether you think you're a salesperson or not. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson. It's just that simple. And we need to use those open-ended questions. And I love to start questions with like, describe or tell me. And then you said how and what and, like where. And, it's like all of those questions that can't be answered with a yes or no, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And so the one thing that I learned when I first started getting into sales and sales training was that you're selling every day, all day long. You just don't realize it. When your toddler doesn't want to eat the carrots and you're trying to convince them that those carrots taste great and they're going to make you big and strong, that's a selling technique right there. So you're selling whether you like it or not. And so before we move on to the next point, I just want to leave you with ask questions like a lawyer. If you think about the law shows that you watch on TV, they always ask and redirect. Mm-hmm. Ask and redirect. So always come up with a follow-up question to get more information out of them.
Yeah, definitely. So we've got a few people that have joined us live. Do we want to remind them of what they can get if they put something in the comments today?
Yes, absolutely. So I want you to comment if you're on here live that Sales Salvation is awesome or I love selling, and I will reach out to you by private message with a free sales training offer.
Yes. And she's got some amazing stuff that she is providing at no cost right now to entrepreneurs who are trying to increase their sales. So definitely put those comments. I think we might have gotten one.
Yay!
Somebody said something and I was trying to remember. I was trying to read. I got that open mouth. I'm reading while I'm talking and thinking. So I wasn't quite sure about that piece, but oh my goodness. So definitely. And what did you say again? Think about the attorney. What did they say again? What did you say?
Ask and redirect.
Ask and
always redirect.
Well, and I think that in my work as a coach, I know that what we think is the cause for anything isn't really the root cause.
Right.
And if I just accepted on face value what someone said was the challenge or the problem without digging a little deeper, then I would probably not get to the root cause of really what's going on. Because
Absolutely.
most people, whether they're your clients or whether they're consumers, they are probably not as self-aware of what their needs might be as you are, is very comfortable and informed on what value your product or service brings.
Right. And that leads us into our third point, and that is don't assume or guess.
Yeah.
I'm sure that we all have heard the phrase, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. It's right. The downfalls to making assumption or guessing what your potential clients are thinking or experiencing is, you may be wrong, right? I mean, just because it's one way for one client doesn't mean it's going to be that way for all of your clients. So by assuming, you're actually cutting yourself off from revenue that you could be having with this client because they may have different pain points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that one of the things that, and I spent over 20 years in the banking industry and worked with entrepreneurs from that angle before I became a business consultant and coach. And one of the things that we would always understand is that you need to get the person to tell their story.
Yes.
And so, because that helps us not assume at all, that we get that story out of them. So we had a Facebook attendee say something very positive about your program. So I'm going to show it for everybody to see that they've been through your program and they highly recommend you. So try the time. So you better be putting in there that you love selling or that you want to learn more about sales salvation so that she can reach out to you in this live session and give you that opportunity to really take a deep dive into your personal selling process and help you out. So wonderful, wonderful advice for us today. I want to know who's on live. I see several of you are on live. What questions do you have for Trish? Let's pick her brain because this is great stuff. And if we don't take advantage of some of this free sales training, we might regret it later on. We might want hey, today's just Tuesday. You can make this a terrific day by just applying a couple of the lessons that you're learning today in your conversations with prospects and potential clients.
Absolutely.
What are our questions? Throw us a question. I'd love to see some questions from our live attendees. And if not, I'll ask you some questions, Trish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Do you have any tips in regards to just helping you feel more confident as a salesperson?
Oh, yes, definitely. When I started my business 10 years ago, I didn't know anything about sales. I mean, absolutely nothing about sales. I'm married to a salesperson. And when I would ask him about sales, he says, I don't know. I just do it. But I'm very a linear and a step-by-step kind of person. I'm really a lot left-brained rather than right-brained. Or is it the opposite? I can never remember which is which, but I'm very logical and I have to have a step-by-step process. And I met my mentor in 2011 and it changed my life because I was able to get this step-by-step process. And one of the things that she taught me was role playing. And so we do a lot of that in our sales training is role playing and giving you specific words that you can use when you're first starting out, because it is very uncomfortable. And I have to tell you a funny story because the first cold call that I ever made, the script goes something like this, hi, my name's Trish. It sounds like you don't know who I am. That's okay. I called you. I was wondering if I could just take 30 seconds of your time to tell you why I'm calling. Well, when I said, can I take 30 seconds of time to tell you why I'm calling? I said, do you mind if I take 30 minutes of your time to tell you why I'm calling? And it we had video phones back then, they would have seen how red my face was, because I blush so easily when I'm mad, excited, embarrassed, whatever. And the woman was like, 30 minutes. I don't think I have 30 minutes.
I know. So we have a couple of questions. Are you ready to
Great.
I'm going to show them to you. So someone said, if I've never sold anything before, what's my first step?
Your first step is going to figure out who your ideal client is. You want to make sure that whatever message you're sending is reaching the right people. So you want to go through and figure out what industry you're trying to reach, what company size you're trying to reach. Is it you reaching out to the CEO? Are you reaching out to an HR director? Who is going to be that ideal person that you're going to reach out to? Because everything that you do is going to be built off of that messaging.
Yeah. Because if you don't, it kind of goes back to your first your tips, right?
Yes.
If you've not gotten familiar enough with your, they call them ICA, your ideal client avatar, then you're not going to be able to really speak the language of your clients and really put that in their terms. Because, as experts on what we offer, we have a lot of jargon that comes along with us. So if you get really familiar with the pain points or what your ICA really likes, dislikes, where their common struggles are, then you have that opportunity to really start in that place. And very, very good advice. Very good advice. So we have
that's one of the things that we do in the sales training, because this is specifically for entrepreneurs and small business owner. That jargon that you're talking about, I was lost when it came to so many sales terms. I didn't even know what ROI meant when I started. So, I mean, that's what I'm saying but it makes it in a comfortable situation where I was in a room full of salespeople going through this sales training, and they knew all of this. And so I felt really stupid. And this is a way that you can get in there and learn it and not feel like the questions you ask are going to show, how much you don't know, because we're going to talk about it.
Because we are the expert in what we provide and how we add value. We're not naturally, people are not naturally expert in sales. I mean, there's some that find it easier, but there's still specific things that you have to know how to do. And listening is definitely one of them. That's absolutely a very important tool. So I'm going to show the next question is how do you deal with ignored Facebook messages? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we have a email called the last ditch email. And the format for that basically says, we've tried to reach out and connect. And so, usually that's one of three things. You're either just so swamped that you can't get back to me. You're not interested in the product, and you're just too polite to tell me, and if it's one of these things, I understand. And we will, cease any kind of communication so that we're not stalking you. But if you're still interested, please let me know. And typically that gets like an 80 to 90% response rate.
Because they're thinking, okay, she's okay with me if I'm just not interested right now, but I'll let her know so she can save her time, right? Or something.
Absolutely. Like that. And that's one of the things that we do through our whole process, through the whole selling process, is we stop along the way and say, it's okay if we're not a good fit, because it would be a waste of your time and my time if we continue. So if you at any point feel like this is not going to work for you, please feel free to tell me.
Yeah. I think that when you're having a conversation with someone that is not really ready, and we've got to pick up on those cues. Like we've got to really sense that. And that is probably another part of your training, right? In the sense of just being able to figure out, when maybe they are a prospect still, but they're just not ready. It's not the correct time for them, because you can go back to the same prospect with the same offer multiple times, but until they're ready, most times they're not going to buy, right?
And there's no problem with putting them into your nurture campaign and keeping your name in front of them. But you have to be able to accept that no, because when do you want to hear the no, Jen? Do you want to hear the no at the beginning as soon as they know that's not something they want to do? Or do you want to hear it after you spent 20 hours of talking to them, preparing a proposal, and then you get the contract over to them and they say, it's not really for us? Is that when you want to hear the no? Or do you want to hear it as soon as they are aware that they don't want to move forward?
Yeah. And it's okay to
It is okay.
with that. Don't do that in fear. Just know that you're giving them an opportunity to still say not, it's, and they say it's never no, it's just not right now. Right.
Sure.
That's the key thing. So someone gave a little compliment. I'm going to post it up there that it's great to hear from someone who started with not knowing. And that's where they're starting. So thank you. And they appreciate the information. So we're all in different stages of our ability to sell.
Yeah.
And I came from financial services. So I was really good in that arena.
Yes.
But when I became a coach and I was not selling a bank product anymore, I was selling me and my services and the value I had. I had to do a major shift in regards to being able to change my language, and I had to get familiar with my that ideal client, who that person was, and niche down and things of that nature. So I think I have another comment. Someone said it's hard to not take it personally sometimes, though, and that is challenging for everyone that is in sales, because we have so much invested. We've poured a lot of sweat and tears and all this emotion into creating this thing that's our baby, basically.
Right. Oh,
when
absolutely.
Rejects that. Oh my gosh, we're going to have an emotional response. And it definitely is. It hurts when someone doesn't want something that you've given so much time and energy to creating. So
it does. But I think that the main thing here is for you to reframe it in your own mind. And you need to accept that you're not the answer to everyone. So you need to be the answer to the people who really need you, who really need your service, who really need your product, and focus on that. If you can reframe that within yourself, it hurts so much less when somebody says, no, I'm not interested. Because when we go through the discovery process in our training, we talk about how it's not just discovering what their needs are, and it's also discovering whether they are even suitable to be a client of ours. And I know it's really, really hard in the beginning because you want like all the business. I want to take everything that somebody gives me, but you've got to be able to separate that and be able to say, no, this is the person I'm looking for. And if it's not within this realm, then I need to be able to say no, so that I have room to bring in somebody that actually is going to appreciate my services, and that they're not just hiring me, maybe out of pity, or, oh, you were so nice, I'm just going to hire you for a small gig. I want somebody that's going to keep coming back to me. So I want people who are really interested.
Definitely. And, you can't necessarily get commitment, because everything you purchase, everything you do requires some kind of time commitment, using the product, whatever, however that is. And people, they treasure that time that they have, and they may buy something, but maybe they don't show up. And that's the worst case scenario, especially for my industry, that if someone decides to be my client and then they don't choose to show up, that becomes then this really not good it's not a good relationship. It kind of feels uneasy. It feels kind of not so great. But all good thoughts for us today, Trish. Definitely. It's amazing how fast, 25 minutes can slip by when we're answering a few questions. So those of you that are on live, if you want to take advantage of Trish's offer of some free sales training, you need to put in the comments that you want that. It's been highly recommended. Someone already said that they'd been through her program. And let me just pop that one back up. Been through Trish's course and highly recommend that you get to try this time with her. Absolutely valuable offer from Trish.
Thank you.
So she is going to be on our lovely agenda of speakers and presenters for the Successful Second Half virtual summit for entrepreneurs that we're hosting on June 25th. That's a Thursday. And remember, I said yesterday that we're giving two things away relative to that today. And that is the access with the $5 coupon off, and 5 people that show up live and post during our lives. Everybody's name is going to go into a drawing. And guess what? I'm going to give 5 all access passes to those people if they buy a ticket. But you have another thing even before the 25th that's coming up, don't you, Trish?
I do. On June 10th, I'm going to be doing a free webinar with the Westgate Academy that's associated with the Purdue Foundry, and they do a lot of Kickstarter stuff with small businesses. And they've asked me to speak on building a cold email campaign that you can use in LinkedIn. So it starts with that first invitation invite that you send out, and follow-up emails that go with that. So it's a great way if you're still feeling uncomfortable about picking up that phone and calling somebody. This is a great way to kind of ease yourself into that sales.
And I've posted it where it's going to show up on my Facebook business page. I'll post the link inside the IGC after the fact as well. So
thanks for that, Jen.
Yeah, great opportunity to get some free information. When we were with Mackenzie Schmidt yesterday from Town Square, she mentioned doing stuff on LinkedIn and what a great piece, because sometimes we're all in Facebook land, and I know we're in Facebook land today, but some of your ICA may be on LinkedIn, and this is a great opportunity to be able to get to them versus just being in Facebook land all the time. So let's go back to what I was saying about the lovely thing that we have coming up, and that is the ability to, guess what, get in and create a successful second half for yourself and make sure that you are rocking your third quarter as an entrepreneur. And we want to see you live, and you could get almost another hour of Trish. Oh my gosh, what value would that be? How awesome. And she's going to tell you what to do that time, not what not to do.
Right.
Wonderful stuff to help you build your confidence in yourselves and get that mindset in place as you go out and you rock your third quarter. And don't forget, I said, you can save $5 on your ticket and get in for only $42 for this full expansive day by using the code SUCCESS5. And any of you who purchase this week, your name goes on a will, and I am going to give away 5 all access passes, which means you'll have the recordings of the sessions for 4 months, lots of bonuses and pluses that presenters like Trish are offering to those folks, as well as our third quarter after party. And I'm looking for my clapper. I've got my clapper somewhere and I can't find it. Got that. Yes, we'll just clap with the hands. Oh, I think I found it. Let me just do this. Woo! We've got to have an after party because we're going to have lots of great successes. I just know this. And if we start it off, if we network, if we get clear on our message, and we get clear on our mindset, and we know how to offer our products and services and listen to our clients so we can really get keyed into what their needs and wants are, we'll be able to rock it. So any final questions? I think I've got a couple more comments. I just got to slow down long enough to look at them. And somebody said my ICA is on TikTok team. I never know who that person is. Someone else said, I rarely use LinkedIn. I'm really intrigued about learning how to use this platform. Thank you, Ashley.
Awesome.
We would love to have you join Trish on the webinar, and hopefully we get to see you on June 25th for the successful second half. So that's all I have. No more comments. Trish, do you have any final thoughts as we wrap up our segment today?
I'm just excited to be here. Thanks so much for having me. And I look forward to reaching out to everybody who said that Sales Salvation is awesome.
Yeah. Make sure you want to put something in there about selling.
Your time is running out. The live session is almost over. So make sure you put it in the comments.
Definitely do that for yourself. And if nothing else, make sure that you go check out Trish's website, The Sales Salvation, so you see all you get from her program. It's pretty amazing. So let's adjourn at this point. Oh, looks like I've got another comment. I always want to catch all the comments and see if I can. Oh, somebody said excited about June 25th.
Yay.
Me too. Yes, I am too. Have a fabulous or a terrific Tuesday. It is Tuesday. It's going to be terrific, right? We've got to make it our best today. Show up for your clients, show up for yourself, and rock it. You've got this.
Awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.